Hi guys, welcome back. In the previous video, we learned about the steps to create an effective resume. Now, we will learn about the important do's and don'ts that you should keep in mind while creating a resume. First is proofreading. Always check your resume for spelling, typo, and grammatical mistakes. You can use free spell checking tools such as Microsoft Word Spell Checker or an online tool like Grammarly to proofread your resume. If you are making your resume in Microsoft Word, it has an inbuilt spell checker that highlights the mistakes in the text. Now, let us see one by one how you can use these tools for spell checking. First is Microsoft Word Spell Checker. If you are using Windows 10 and creating your resume in Microsoft Word, after you finish creating your resume, just go to the menu bar and click on the Review tab. Here, click on this option for Editor. On clicking, this panel opens up. Now, here if you see, we are getting the options to check for spelling and grammar. And here, it shows the number of corrections for each. Also, if you notice, the incorrect spellings are highlighted in red, while the grammar mistakes are highlighted in blue. Now, we will click on spelling. It takes up each mistake one by one. So, here it is taking us through the incorrect spelling of BTech. Now, it is possible that you may want to retain the way you have written BTech. So, you can choose this Ignore Once option to ignore this mistake for this one time. Or, click on Ignore All to ignore this mistake all the time, or even this option of Add to Dictionary to add this word to the dictionary of your MS Word. Alternatively, you can choose from these suggestions given here. For now, I am using this Ignore Once option. Follow the same process for checking all the spelling mistakes. Now, we will go back and click on Grammar. Here, it has pointed out one mistake, and it says that only one space between words is better. Looks like we added an extra space before a by mistake. So, we can simply click on the suggestion to correct it, and it's done. So, this is how you can use the MS Word Spelling and Grammar Checker to proofread your text. The next tool that we will understand how to use is Grammarly. It is an online tool that can be used for spell checking and proofreading your documents. You can use it by registering through your Gmail ID. Just go to the website www.grammarly.com. Here, you will find this option Add to Chrome, it's free. Click on it to add Grammarly to your Google Chrome browser. On clicking, it will open the Chrome Web Store in a separate window and take you to the Extensions tab in it. Here, click on the option Add to Chrome. On clicking this, it will ask you if you want to add Grammarly for Chrome and show you what all will Grammarly help you with. Click on the Add Extension option here to add Grammarly to your Google Chrome browser. It will then install the plugin for Grammarly. After the installation is complete, it will open a separate window. It will then ask you to proceed using the option Continue with Google, where you can log into Grammarly using your Gmail ID or create your account by providing your name, email ID, and password and click on Sign Up. Both the options are free and you can choose either one of them to proceed. For now, we are using this Continue with Google option. On clicking, it will take us to the Gmail sign-in page where we will put our Gmail ID and then click on Next to proceed. Enter the password and then click on Next again to proceed. You are now logged into Grammarly with your Gmail ID. Next, it will ask you what you would be using Grammarly to write, such as school, work, or other projects. We are choosing the option Work and will click on Continue here to proceed. Then it will ask you what you want Grammarly to help you with. Since we want to use it for spelling and grammar, we will choose that option and click on Continue to proceed further. Now, you can select any option here. We are selecting the option I am not sure and will click on Continue. It will then show you its two different offerings, that is, the free version or the premium or paid version. You can go ahead with the free version, which will help you proofread your documents for spelling, grammar, and punctuation. For that, we will click on Continue to Grammarly, it's free, to proceed. You can now start using Grammarly to proofread your documents. The Grammarly plugin that we installed as an extension in Chrome will now proofread any document you work on and help you write error-free and meaningful content. Alternatively, you can also choose to directly write your text or simply copy-paste it in Grammarly itself by clicking on the option New Upload here and compose content that is grammatically right. Today, With all these tools available for proofreading, there's absolutely no excuse for your resume to contain spelling or grammar mistakes. It gives a very poor impression. Please reread and proofread your resume before you send it to any company. Now, let us go back to our other important do's and don'ts that we should keep in mind while creating a resume. Next is the use of WhatsApp or SMS language in written communication. With the penetration of smartphones and so many of us being on WhatsApp and SMSing each other, unfortunately, the same language has also made its way into our professional communication, such as resumes or emails. But please be careful and do not use this language in writing your resume or professional emails. It does not leave a good impression on the employer. For example, let's say you are writing the following SMS to your friend asking her to share the notes or assignment with you for that day. Hi, please send me your class notes for today. I was not well and could not come to college. Thanks. Do you see the short forms of various words used in place of their complete spellings? Would you use the same language to communicate with your teachers over an email? No, right? That's because it is an SMS language and informal in nature. So, please use complete words and spellings while writing professional emails and communications. Some students in India, and this is particular to India alone, also include the name of their parents in their resume. It is not really required and does not add any value to your resume. Please do not write this information in your resume. Another important factor to keep in mind while creating your resume is to always be very specific while giving details. For example, saying I came first in a competition is not as effective as saying I came first in a competition which had 500 participants. Being specific with details give companies a clear understanding of your potential and your achievement. You may have seen that many times that the students at the end of their resume write a statement like this. I hereby declare that the information provided in this resume is to the best of my knowledge and is truthful. It is your resume and not a court affidavit. You don't need to mention this. It is assumed that everything that you list on your resume is true and you don't have to explicitly state that. So, please avoid writing such declaration statement in your resume. Many students also make this grave mistake of leaving their resume poorly formatted. It is difficult to read your resume if you keep changing the font type, font color, and font size. Poor formatting is a good indicator to your interviewer that you do not take your assignments seriously. The key is to be consistent with the way you want to style your resume. Avoid using any showy or body font styles. You can use standard font styles such as Times New Roman, Calibri, or Arial. Also, please ensure that you only use one font type and font color throughout your resume and do not use more than 2 font sizes for your resume. For example, you may use size 12 of Times New Roman for heading sections of your resume and size 10 for the rest of the content of your resume. Remember how we discussed in the previous video about the different parts of a resume that there are a few professions where your physical appearance matters? For example, jobs in hospitality, media, aviation, or the modeling industry? Unless you are applying for these jobs, you don't have to attach your photograph on your resume. It is an outdated practice which doesn't add any value, instead bulks up your resume. Next is the length of a resume. Write a concise resume that is not more than 1 or 2 pages long. The most effective resumes are short and to the point. Hiring managers and recruiters may review hundreds of resumes for each open position. So, a short resume ensures that they can read it quickly. Therefore, unless specifically asked by the employer to write an elaborate resume, please write a short resume only. Next is, always save the final version of your resume as a PDF file and send it, instead of a doc file. This ensures that the format of your resume remains intact and is not modified even if the employer's version of the MS Word software is different than yours. Last but not the least, it is very important to update your resume from time to time. Before sending it to any company, always add any new information such as new training programs, projects, internships, or any other academic qualifications that you may have done to your resume. Also, make sure that you check that the information you are providing is relevant to the profile you are applying for. This is the best way to avoid sending any outdated information and helps you highlight your job-specific skills to the prospective employer. Now, ready for an interesting fact about writing resumes effectively? Did you know 76% of the resumes are discarded because of an unprofessional email ID? Yes, that is true. It might seem trivial, but it is a fact that recruiters do not consider resumes with unprofessional email IDs that might be childish or silly. A professional email ID reflects the effort you have put into appearing as a professional and indicates that you are ready for a responsible job. So, create a new professional sounding email ID right away. So, that was all about the do's and don'ts that you should keep in mind while creating your resume. We hope that you will be able to create an impactful and error-free resume using them. In the next video, we will learn about the step-by-step guide to create your resume using Internshala Resume Maker.